Welcome back to the OBR YouTube channel, and in this week's video, we have some amazing charts to go over in this week's market forecast. We are going to be covering the week of January 17th, reviewing the fundamental drivers for this upcoming week, earnings, as well as that technical analysis, which we have a lot to talk about. So, without any further delay, let us get right into this week's video. So, in terms of fundamental drivers for this upcoming week, there is none, except for Monday, when we are observing Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and all stock markets will be closed, so be sure to be aware of that. Enjoy your extra day off. And in terms of earnings, you will be able to see them on screen right now. So this week, we're going to start off on Bitcoin. And to really get a better idea of where we are in Bitcoin, we need to go to the higher time frames. So here we are on a 4-hour chart, and as you can see, I just wanted to quickly highlight this zone that we are in now because it is very, very important to be aware of it. This zone right now is our 38.2 to the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement in wave 3 of our zigzag. So if you're a viewer of my channel, you know I'm all about Fibonacci retracements, extensions, and Elliott wave principle. Elliott wave principle for me provides market context, which allows me to get an idea of the best idea of where price is going to go next. So that allows me to then drop down to lower time frames or higher time frames and find an executable trading pattern that I can take, which allows me to ride that trend that I deciphered using Elliott wave. So right now, our current count on Elliott wave theory is that we are in a zigzag on Bitcoin. A zigzag is a distinct 5-3-5 pattern, meaning there is 5 waves in wave A, 3 waves in wave B, and 5 waves in wave C, granted the 5-3-5. So here we have this highlighted for you guys where I've counted out all of our current waves. We had our wave 5 end up here, which we know is our last impulse before a correction, so that all lines up. And then from our high that we made here at 69,000, we formed our first 5-wave impulse move lower, this being wave A in the macro correction. Remember, 5-3-5, wave A. Here's wave B, the ABC, granted the 3, and then here we are now in the other 5-wave move of wave C, which we need to complete. So here is our 5-wave move so far. We had wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. We are now in wave 4, and we are anticipating at least one more wave down in Bitcoin as of right now, with this being our primary count, before we then head higher to our price targets around 77,000. And then if we confidently break through those, then our price targets around 109 to 115,000. But my bias in the short term is bearish and then converting to bullish once we get this correction complete. Ethereum, we're looking at almost the same thing as Bitcoin. So nothing really to say here. Still in a correction. We could come lower to the 61.8 before we find our way higher. If we find our low here, then we will be able to, call it out hopefully in next week's market forecast, where we'll be able to have a little bit more price data and information to go off of. And, everybody asks me every day, what am I looking at on Apple? The question is absolutely nothing, because we're consolidating, and I don't really like to play consolidations. But if you did, you could take a break out of this resistance and maybe ride this higher to, resistance high right there, and then maybe back down to support. But we are in consolidation, so nothing really to say there. Tesla, I see Tesla coming lower. I think we're going to come potentially back down to this low that we made here at 980. Sorry, 980, and then potentially a little bit lower than that if we are in a zigzag like we're talking about on Bitcoin. Uber is in this downward trending channel on the higher time frame, 4-hour chart, and there's really nothing for us to do until we break out of this. This is the main thing that I'm going to be paying attention to. Amazon, we've been finding support here, but we did break out of a macro support line here, so we are in just confusion right now. This is an area where I don't really know what to think on Amazon. We need a little bit more price data to really come up with a confident thesis on this, but nothing really to be said right here. I'm not looking to take a trade on anything that looks like this. QQQ is an interesting chart. We finished a corrective move lower, touching our 61.8, which we know is a really, really great area for a reversal. So that is a very nice confluence for us. And if we break this resistance, then I will be bullish on QQQ, just as we will be on SPY. NVIDIA looks fantastic. I'm really bullish on all the semiconductors right now, namely AMD and NVIDIA, but we're going to be going over AMD very shortly. NVIDIA looks great. Looks like we had our corrective move complete. Now we completed wave 1, completed wave 2, and I think we're going to make another run up at these 2 resistance levels, hopefully breaking through, but at least getting back up to those levels. RIOT is a identical representation of Bitcoin, so it looks to me the same thing as Bitcoin, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming down here for wave 5. So yeah, I mean, it's really important to just know that they are tied together. They are positively correlated, RIOT and Bitcoin. So whatever Bitcoin does, RIOT is going to do. And if ETH starts to appreciate off of the low rather than continue lower, then this ETH BTC chart will make a lot of sense, because it looks like we completed our correction in ETH BTC after a strong impulse move higher. Getting a little more context for you guys, we had a strong impulse move higher after a triangle, and we got back down to our 38.2 to the 61.8 zone in this last impulse wave here. So this is a great area where we might reverse off of, but we need more confluence and confirmation before we can really say anything. Beyond looks really, really great right now. This could be a trade that I take on Tuesday when the market opens, but we have a double bottom here, granted by this blue box, in the 61.8 zone. We actually got very, very close to the 61.8, and we are in an inverse head and shoulders. So once we break this neckline on a higher time frame, then I will be going long on Beyond Meat. But this looks really, really good. I like this setup. Delta Airlines looked like we could continue lower. Looks like we had a strong impulse move breakout of this ending diagonal. Maybe we could get a little bounce before we continue lower, but I am seeing us come lower on Delta Airlines just because of the problems that all of the airlines have been facing recently. Disney was a great trade. We actually called this out for you guys last week, so if anybody took this, congrats to you. It was a great trade. Ford is one of my favorite stocks for this upcoming year. I'm looking at a 5-wave impulse move just completed to the upside, waiting for a correction, granted the ABC move here, before we continue higher, but I do see Ford coming higher, absolutely. Looks great. In SPY, I see us in a zigzag correction, very, very similar to Bitcoin. So I see us coming one more wave lower here, and after that, then we will go up to our price target around 483 to 485. Yeah, this looks pretty solid. But very, very clear 5-wave impulse move right here, followed by a very clear ABC, and then it looks like we're in a very clear 5-wave move here. So I'm definitely bearish in the short term on SPY, but then bullish once we get this confirmation and completion of this correction. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate your time. I greatly appreciate your attention. I hope that this video proved helpful to you and provided you with some unique insights to take into this upcoming week, as I know going over my charts does allow me to do that. So, as always, thank you for watching and happy trading.